Alrighty. Hello, my dudes. Okay, I think that worked. How is everybody doing? I think, hey, you know what? For once, I didn't mute myself when I started talking, so that's a plus. For those curious about the song that was just playing, that is a song called I Am Unity by Elysia? Elysia? Yeah, Elysia. Elysia is this artist that makes a whole bunch of music inspired by Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. And I have been listening to a ton of the stuff, and I just wanted to give this guy a bit of a shout out. Not just because I love Brandon Sanderson's work as of late. I am about 3/4 of the way through Words of Radiance. But after finding this album, I'm sorry, not album, creator, I just think it's really, really good. Another one that I found recently is the album Kaladin by the Black Piper, and I also want to give that a shout out because it is really, really. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, never mind. No, it's not. I just wanted to give this guy a quick shout out. The Black Piper, who made Kaladin album. It is so good. What I wouldn't give to have this album on a vinyl record. I love collecting vinyl records, and I just think this would be fantastic. However, what we are gonna do, so let me know if this is a little bit too loud. I'm still messing around with the new settings and everything since the move, but you guys tell me. I'm gonna get to your chat up here. See if hey, there we go. It's been a while since I used to be mod in here like 2021. I've rebranded from. Oh my God, Orion Orr. Oh my God, I remember you. I remember you. I really do, Orion. I may not remember everything, but I remember the name, which is rare because I'm terrible with names. I really hope you're doing well. And I really do mean that. What we are going to do, however, I have a pitch coming up soon to Death Battle. And I'm really, really excited for it. I made a rough draft that I think is okay, but I think it needs a lot of work. And I can make it. I want to make this pitch the best I possibly can make it. And it involves two of my favorite TV shows of all time. The first one is a show that is very, very near and dear to me. If you have seen any of my videos, you know I've mentioned it a couple of times, and that is MacGyver. I love MacGyver. In fact, ever since I was a kid, and I know I've talked about this like a million times, but ever since I was a kid, I have carried. It's in my pocket right here. Hold on. I got so much stuff in my pockets. I'm always carrying tools with me, but I have carried a Swiss Army knife with me at all times. This is one of the most important things that I have. Not having this with me feels like missing a limb. I love this tool. This right here. This is my extra hand. I have solved so many problems with this thing or a Leatherman. It's absolutely insane. I probably easily use this thing at least like once a day. I do not know what for, but there's a million and one uses, of which this thing is about half of them. No, sorry. There are a million and one uses, and every day I use at least one of them. So I just absolutely love everything about this. So, what are we working on? So it's MacGyver versus another show that is very, very near and dear to me. That is the A-Team. I am putting up MacGyver versus the entire A-Team. And at first you think, well, that's not a very fair fight. However, it might be the only way to do this as a fair fight. There's a couple of memes I want to edit, a bunch of. We're gonna have some fun here. I might throw on some of this nice Azalea music in the. I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? Oh no, I closed that tab, didn't I? Oh well. Anyway. Oh no, there it is. So I might throw on some more of that music in the background. I'm not sure if I'll get copyrighted for it. I really do want to give that creator as much of a shout out as possible, even if just like one person subscribes. That's all I need. That's all I need. Not to me. So subscribe to this other guy because that's really, really cool. Especially like the Black Piper. melody of the music. So here we have a little spreadsheet that I was working on. This spreadsheet here is about everything I have for both the original MacGyver and the original A-Team. And that's what kind of makes this matchup a little bit interesting, is that we are focusing on the original versions of the characters. So we're focusing on the original MacGyver, original A-Team. We are not talking about the MacGyver reboot series. We are not talking about the A-Team movie from 2010. As much as I do like that movie, I really enjoy it. It's not really relevant to what we're doing here today. Mysterious Stranger says, I actually have one from Switzerland. It has my name engraved on it. That is awesome. I want one. I probably should get this engraved. There's a place around here that does that. Just this week, I lost my favorite knife, which I got at the Buck Factory in Idaho, and dropped it somewhere. Can't find it. I really should have put my name on it. Oh well. But for MacGyver, we're looking at everything in the original series, all of the seasons, as well as both TV movies. In the A-Team, we're looking at everything in the original TV show. But then we've got some interesting stuff. This is where it gets really, really weird. There is an official MacGyver comic book. I'm not sure where to place it in the canon of the original series. It was, however, written by the original series creator. So I'm taking the MacGyver comic book as something that happens way after the original series, because things like cell phones are shown in it. It's a bit odd, but I do want to give it to MacGyver. There's also MacGyver the Musical. Now this one's also a bit weird, because the way that MacGyver the Musical works is that every single show, they pick a random person from the crowd who did an audition earlier that day to play MacGyver. And they know absolutely nothing about it. They're literally just thrown into the story. The idea is that you are MacGyver. I am MacGyver. Everyone is MacGyver. That's kind of like the whole point of the musical. At first, I didn't want to give it to MacGyver. However, it's also written by the original show's creator, David Lee Zlotoff. Zlotoff. It's impossible to pronounce. Zlotoff. I believe that's how it's spelled from memory, but Zlotoff. I'm just going to call him David Lee. So David Lee, it is made by the original creator. And then there's a mobile game. I'm not sure where to put that one, because it's really, really hard to find anything about the mobile game. It's just like weird laser grid thing that you move around. It's fun that it exists, but other than that, there's not really a lot for MacGyver. There is a MasterCard commercial, which I am absolutely giving to MacGyver, because it stars the original actor, Richard Dean Anderson. And there is an escape room board game, which is themed around, have I seen Invincible? Have I seen Invincible Season 3? No. I haven't even seen Invincible Season 2. I saw Season 1. I thought it was okay. I kind of fell off after that. I was going to watch Season 2. Then I saw a bunch like the animation quality, and I saw that Amber was still around. And I was kind of done. I don't like Amber at all. Ew, you lied to me, Mark. Me. You're a superhero. You didn't tell me. I'm so over that trope. But then there's... Okay. This is interesting. The escape room board game. It's like whatever. But the Mercedes-Benz Citan commercial, that one is interesting because MacGyver has a daughter, and it stars the original actor, Richard Dean Anderson again. The comics of Invincible are amazing. That is what I hear. I hear they're really good. I need to read more comics. Thing on Amber? Yeah. I just really hate that trope. I really hate that trope of just like, you're a superhero and you kept your identity secret and you didn't tell me. It's in everything now, and I'm so over it. No more, please. But the Mercedes-Benz Citan, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's whatever. I don't really care. But I do care, because in that commercial, MacGyver, in elderly MacGyver, mind you, by himself, diehards an entire group of terrorists that infiltrated a secret government bunker underneath a building that he was working on, and then he takes the Citon and he runs over Iron Man. There is like a drone robot thing that's basically Iron Man, and MacGyver runs him over and then cuts some wires and disables the entire thing. It is hilarious. Hey, Mr. Trashboat, there's a couple of hundreds coming up in the chat. Those are from me to you. You'll say some dropping out to say what's up. Don't tell your parents up. Shh, go to bed. He's I don't want to dox this guy, but I know who this guy is. He's a very close friend. I love this dude. Much love. Much love. Yeah. He's a good dude. Very good dude. Don't tell your parents you're up. What if I did? What if I called your dad like right now? Also repping Creepcast merch. Awesome podcast. I'll totally check these guys out. I love these dudes. So, go to bed, man. MacGyver took out an Iron Man, which to me is just hilarious. Next up, there are 6 official MacGyver books. There's MacGyver on Ice, which is an original book written by the original creator. I gotta read all those. And then both of these have a Mythbusters special, which is very interesting because that gives me real-world statistics and calculations that I can use to my advantage. And also, I kind of want to give it to MacGyver, but I'm not sure how. And that is MacGruber. On MacGruber, which is a Saturday Night Live skit, it is revealed that MacGruber is actually the son of MacGyver, and his name is MacGruber MacGyver. I'm not sure how to rank that, because it stars Richard Dean Anderson, and it's mostly for comedic effect. However, MacGruber has the one thing that MacGyver never got, and that is a theatrical film. And I really don't want to watch that movie because I hear it's really bad. However, that might give me some interesting scaling for MacGyver, considering, like, well, his son did this. So I guess, depending on the canon, how you want to look at this, MacGyver has like 3 kids. There's his son that's in the actual TV show. There's his daughter from the Citon commercial, and MacGruber. So, okay, not sure what to make of that. Whatever. Then, on the A-Team, we have all 5 of the original seasons, which I have right here, DVD box set. That's a plus. That's good to have. I would like to get a DVD box set of MacGyver just to have, like, the 2 right next to each other, but what are you going to do? Then there's a comic book, which only has 3 issues. And then, okay, El Equipo A is interesting because the video game that's based on the A-Team and officially licensed. However, it's horrible. It's a horrible video game. There's a bunch of A-Team video games, and they're all bad and just horribly made. This might be the only one that's, like, somewhat usable. I'm not sure where to put that. There is an A-Team board game, which I just find hilarious. Apparently, Mr. T, B.A. Baracus, has, like, a top-secret lemonade recipe. You have to break into an entire vault in order to get and then break out. Because you can play as, in the A-Team board game, you can play as any other member of the A-Team except for B.A. Baracus, despite the fact that the A-Team board game comes with a special B.A. Baracus poster, which is just really funny. There's also the handheld video game, which is hilarious looking. It's just really, really funny. There's Operation Desert Sun, which is a book. There are 2 A-Team Choose Your Own Adventure books. I need to find them. There's Commodore 64 Atari game, Mythbusters, and then this is the wildest one that I found recently. The A-Team has WWE scaling. I don't know what to do with this.
Into the line, Smith.
With the A-Team and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I love it.
Similarly Tuesday on 10.
So, here's... Oh, I love that song. Now, this is why that right there is interesting. Because Hulk Hogan...
Field of cryptozoology.
I'm sorry, not Wendigoon. Love you, Wendigoon, but, look, he's Wendigoon. However, what I'm trying to show off here is... Hulk Hogan scene in Gremlins tune where, I need to pause that, let's not get copyrighted here. In Gremlins 2, Hulk Hogan canonically scares the Gremlins to the point where they stop breaking the fourth wall and ruining the movie.
So, do you think the Grimsters can stand up to the Hulkster?
Meaning that the Gremlins are actually scared of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan had to hire the A-Team to help him out. I don't know why, but that reminded me of the old Dirty Harry movies. Which one? Gremlins? I love the Dirty Harry movies. God, they're so much fun. But there's something very strange about Hulk Hogan power scaling because I know nothing about WWE. I don't know how to power scale WWE. One sec, I needed this for later. I want that. Oh, sorry, not that one. Nope. Let's remove that. I needed this model for a later thing. This is for Dungeons and Dragons. Been playing that with some friends. That's been fun. I just want to Google it really quick. How would I Hulk Hogan power scaling? Just out of curiosity. Surprise me. Of course, there's versus battles wiki. Hulk Hogan, WWE. Let's go for what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? That's awesome. I like the feather boa. Hulk Hogan, August 11th. I almost share a birthday with Hulk Hogan. That's fun. With possibly 9A, higher with leg drop. Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, Mr. America. Superhuman physical characteristics. Stole power mimicry, stole the Rock's rock. Where does the A-Team rank in terms of Hulk Hogan? Is not a question that I ever thought I would be asking, but I'm glad that I am. The one before. Oh, the commercial. Got it. Okay. The durability about wall level. Okay, so wall to small building. Okay. Not bad. Okay, so he's like about small building level, but I feel like they forgot about the whole Gremlins 2 thing. So whatever. Okay. So theoretically Hulk Hogan is about small building level, which means he could destroy a small building, which is hilarious. So now, how do I... I'm curious about, like... Wait, hold on. There's versus battles, right? So what if I go for, like... I'm just curious where they put MacGyver. Reagan Ridley? From... Yeah, from... What? Okay, now I'm curious where MacGyver shows up here. I loved Inside Job. Great show. I'm so curious. What is going... Hulk Hogan could be Goku. Based. Where does Reagan... Where's MacGyver? Here. Probably her ability to, like, piece together stuff. Okay, she's also small building. Interesting. Speed of light, attack speed with laser gun. Okay, look. Okay. This is one thing that I hate about power scaling. That I would love for you guys to clip this just because I want to talk about it. You know what? I'm going to give this to you for free as a green screen thing because I want you guys to have it. This is one thing that I hate about power scaling, and that is speed feats. I hate speed feats, and here's why. Because for some reason, if somebody like shoots a laser beam out of their hands, that gets counted as a speed feat? No. Just because I can chuck this D&D miniature of a Yeti across a room does not mean I can run that fast. That's not a speed feat, that's a strength feat. That's a power feat. If I have a gun and I fire said gun, that's not a speed feat. Yet for some reason, and I saw this is a real one that I saw. Some guy did a YouTube video where he calculated like the fastest speedsters in media, and he ranked here's a train. He ranked the White Violin from Umbrella Academy as one of like the fastest speedsters because apparently she like shot a chest cannon thing like of light out of her and it blew up the moon. He's like, oh, it's like, it's almost speed of light. Wow. And I'm like, no. Just because she shot a laser of plasma or something like that doesn't mean she moves that fast. I hate that argument. That's not what that means. Just because that happened doesn't mean that they're that fast. I can understand a speed feat with like Silver Chariot slicing a light beam in half because we know the speed of light. However, Jay Giles' stand Hanged Man? Yeah, Hanged Man. It appears as a beam of light, does not mean it is a beam of light because it's a stand that's literally jumping from point A to point B. Whatever. I'm gonna move on. I really hate the way that people quantify a quote unquote speed feat. Or look, like right here, they say, well you see, Reagan has an attack speed that's at the speed of light because of the laser gun. No, her attack speed is however quickly she can pull the trigger on the laser gun. Sure, a laser gun is really cool. However, that doesn't mean that she's that fast. It's not like she's throwing a speed of light punch or anything. That's stupid. Oh, sorry, I forgot to throw it back to the, I forgot to put it back here. But look at this. Look. See what I mean? That's stupid. This is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. I don't like any of this. It's not about Inside Job. It's about what it represents. I hate this kind of argument. Okay, moving on. Love Inside Job, though. Extraordinary Genius. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Okay. Homing device, design track down one specific purpose equipment. Only limited to the 1980s. Okay, which is great, because MacGyver's awesome. But, okay, that's interesting that MacGyver doesn't have his own versus battles wiki. What about the A-Team? Let's find out. Team Fortress, Team Phantom, Team Build, Team... Wow. Oh. There's an A-Team wiki. Oh, well. Let's ignore all this. Let's get into what we actually came here for. Not 3D printing MacGyver, which I do kind of want to do because I think that'd be really fun. But we'll deal with all this later. We'll save that for later. I want to talk about this pitch. So let's do a quick rough draft real quick. We'll do a quick run through. And then we'll make changes as we need them. Alright, just heads up. This is being recorded. It's also being live streamed on YouTube right now. Ooh, look at me. I'm doing a rough draft. Ooh. 私のはキリヨシカゲ。どんな野菜はビビるってか。Okay, here we go. The year is 1965. America has just deployed its first troops into the jungles of Vietnam. Over the next 10 years, American troops will be forced to deal with some of the worst conditions, booby traps, and being literally undermined by miles upon miles of secret tunnels through the mountain. And how did America repay its brave soldiers who fought and died in one of the worst wars of all time? we turn them into 80s action heroes. Let's go! Like MacGyver, the jerry-rigging genius, and the A-Team, the gung-ho group. It is my job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to tell you why this should be your next death battle. Behold, a trailer. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta mute this. The other one got copyrighted, so I'm gonna unmute this whenever I talk to the actual death battle guys. If any of you have any copyright-free music that would also work really well with this, I'd be really interested in hearing that. I really like this hype trailer. I think it was kind of cool, and because it has like little bits and pieces of both series. Should I have done something that actually incorporated quotes and sayings and clips of people talking from both series? Probably should have. I thought using the stuff from the actual TV show intros was a really cool way of doing it. And it was also way faster. Let us begin with MacGyver. You might be asking yourself, hey, MacGyver, I think I've heard that word before. And you have. In fact, MacGyver is so good at what he does that he has become the dictionary definition of what he does. What is it that he does? He makes MacGyver-isms. A MacGyver-ism is where you take something and you make something out of that thing. He makes stuff out of other stuff. Well, what does he make? Well, let's see here. Over the course of the show, he's made caltrops to crash a car out of limes and nails. He made an entire protective suit to fight an entire army of ants out of melted plastic. He made a toxic blow dart. He's made a thermal torch. And once, when his best friend found a real human skull, he took matters into his own hands and with pencil erasers and clay solved a 40-year-old murder case. MacGyver is an engineering genius. He is an international spy. He is an expert knife thrower, rock climber, rocket engineer, bomb creator, and bomb diffuser. He's a chemist, and he knows Morse code. The crazy thing is, all of this was in the very first episode. This isn't even before we get into the crazy stuff he did. Like, a hero is only as good as his villain, right? And one of the best villains in TV history is this guy, Murdoch. Murdoch is an international assassin and master of disguise who kills people by setting up elaborate traps that kill anyone except for MacGyver. It's just as the musical said, when next you have a problem, get your duct tape off the shelf with a paper clip and a pocket knife. You can handle it yourself. He is MacGyver. In 1972, a crack commando unit was arrested for a crime they did not commit. Oh, one second, actually, I forgot to get this ready. Oh wait, oh that's weird. It didn't reset. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Wonder why that is. That's the guy from Gorillaz. We're gonna get to that. Hold on. I gotta wait for this to reset. Okay. In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team. The A-Team. The A-Team is comprised of 4 key members. Their leader, John Hannibal Smith. Their con man and face man, Templeton Peck. Their muscle, played by the amazing Mr. T, B.A. Baracus. And their pilot, Murdoch, who is an insane man who, like, every episode they need to break out of a mental asylum. And the A-Team roam America trying to clear their names in their awesome... man, just look at this van. I love this van so much. It's so cool. And that's, okay. I'm not done yet. Over the course of the series, the A-Team has created some insane weapons, including a tree cannon that launches boards, a weird like cabbage pult thing, a juice gun, and they even faked an airplane takeoff. Speaking of airplanes, what if I told you that in the episode The Beast from the Belly of a Boeing, the A-Team thwarted the plans of a bunch of terrorists who overtook an airplane. And after defeating the terrorists, they crashed the plane so hard that they actually wound up in Airplane. This is not a screenshot from the movie Airplane. This is a screenshot taken directly from the episode of the A-Team, which, if you are a fan of the movie Airplane, is literally the exact same scene with said chucking the baby in the air, which is just... I mean that's hilarious. I think that's what I have so far. I was gonna talk about like the Hulk Hogan scaling because I think that's really funny. A little bit of okay, but no matter where you, I was gonna come up with some phrase here to say something really clever about the A-Team always being there for anybody in need. And then I was going to do some comparison stuff for MacGyver and the A-Team. Over the course of the series, both of these shows have built a lot of the exact same things. Flamethrowers, ultralights made from spare parts, and even once a prison escape using bed springs, which is really, really cool. Both have broken the laws of physics multiple times. This was where I was going to talk about a thing that I came up with called Tinker Force, which is kind of like Toon Force, but... only applies to like inventions and such that break the rules of physics. For example, this hot air balloon made out of trash bags, which would absolutely not work in real life, but because the A-Team did it, it worked. There's some interesting stuff you can play around with in there. Both of the shows had a Mythbusters special, both MacGyver, the A-Team. That's actually where I get this graph from, which was over the course of 5 seasons, 98 episodes. The A-Team only was directly responsible for 1 death, which is kind of interesting for a quote-unquote death battle, because then the question is the A-Team actually that deadly? Or are they so good at what they do that they decided not to be deadly? That's a good question. The MacGyver and the A-Team have actually teamed up once before in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in 1988, or at least they would if this entire team up here wasn't an April Fool's Day joke, and it pissed me off because I thought this was real, and I would have loved for this to be a real thing, especially because that's how we get Weird Science, MacGyver, Back to the Future, the A-Team, and Big Trouble in Little China all in the exact same comic. And the pitch for this was that they were going to go up against the Lost Boys and the vampire dude, whose name I can't remember right now. I thought that would have been awesome, but instead, no, it was an April Fool's Day joke, and I think that this death battle is a great way to right this wrong. I made this meme. I don't know where to put this meme, but I made this meme. I'm really proud of it. MacGyver versus the A-Team, anyone? Anybody have any ideas and everything? I know there's a lot of stuff that I want to add, a lot of stuff I want to change, remove, edit. I need to add a lot more statistics, numbers, mathematics, because I know that's the kind of stuff that Death Battle really, really likes. Any questions so far from the chat? Go, Mr. Mysterious the Mysterious Stranger. How's my voice sounding, by the way? Am I sounding like too loud or blown out? I don't know how I sound. To me, I sound fine because I'm hearing my own voice, but I'm not sure how I sound like through the mic, through YouTube, etc. If it's like blown out or whatever. I am not done with this at all. I just want to hear feedback before I start like working on some stuff. I'm gonna open up Discord real quick. Cool. Let's talk to a friend. Voice sounds good. Great. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. So one of the main things that I think I need to like work on for this, of which there is a lot. Okay, I really like this right here, the way that this moves. I thought that was really cool. I like this. I really like this. But I need to put in a lot of statistics, numbers, etc. This is the boring part of the stream where I start doing calculations and math. I have no idea how to calculate the blast radius of a bomb, but that's some of the stuff we're going to have to do here, because there is an episode where MacGyver is holding an entire crate of nitroglycerin, and he falls on the nitroglycerin, and he's completely fine. It doesn't go off because well, now you may be asking, oh my gosh, why did he fall on the nitroglycerin? Oh yeah, because an entire shack of the stuff exploded behind him, and I need to somehow calculate how big of an explosion would that have been actually. I am going to lose my mind because I have no idea how to do that math. And also, I am not a math nerd. I'm a nerd, not a math nerd. Different kind of nerd. History, hell yeah, I can do history all day. Pop culture, sure. Not a math nerd. So let's do that, shall we? So comparing this to a lot of the other pitch matchups that I've seen, I haven't done a lot of comparisons, pros and cons, nor have I done any. What am I looking for? What did people talk about? There was one that I saw on YouTube where it was. I'm gonna bring this up here because this guy did a really good death battle pitch, and that was Luigi versus Pac-Man. And I really liked this dude's pitch. This was a really good pitch. This guy right here. This was a great pitch. I listened to this and it was really good. And I really liked the way he did his, because he had a thumbnail. He had, look at this GIF that he had. I don't want to like mute the guy out. I just want to show off this GIF really quick. But just like, look at how cool that he did this. I love the way that he did this. That is so cool. I have something similar on mine. I have the one that I made here for MacGyver and the A-Team. I really like these backgrounds. However, I also have these images here that were made on Discord. I forget who made these. But I thought these were fantastic too, and I feel bad for not using them. So I'll probably throw these in there instead, because after all, somebody took the time to make them for me, and I absolutely love the Death Battle community. I have made so many friends there. So let's do that. Let's throw these on there, shall we? So let's throw MacGyver here. Uh-oh. Yep. Okay, MacGyver, go. Great. Okay. No, he's a little blurry. Maybe that's why I went for my own that I made instead. Huh. Okay, we'll leave it alone for now. Maybe I'll make like a slide about like community stuff, because then I can be like, ever since bringing this up to the Death Battle community, people have really liked it, or at least the people that I've talked to have really liked it. I'm not sure if that's because it's me doing the talking, or if because it's actually like it's a peak matchup. It is legitimately really cool. I think it would be fantastic. I'm not sure if that's because I think it would be fantastic, or if it's actually fantastic. But what are you gonna do? Okay, there. We got our A-Team. Sick. Looks great. I like that. I'm just gonna leave that there for now. There's some other stuff that the fan base has made, and I downloaded it, but I cannot find it. Okay. Voice sounds good. Okay, anybody, what do I want to do here? You know what? I think I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to save this real quick. Let's make... This is already a copy of a copy. I should make a copy again. Copy of copy. Yeah, why not? Okay, we just made a copy of a copy just to make sure we're good, because I'm going to start deleting some slides and making it more like this dude's, just to make some cool stuff. I really want to get the connections going. I think that's something that I have very much missed here. What I get out of the matchup, which is some very cool stuff. Feats. I haven't done any feats, like at all. I mean, sure, I've talked about like cool stuff that they've done, but I don't think any of that is like actually like power scaling feats. And that is why I should do so. So, let's talk about... I really like the thumbnails and everything I have so far. What should I do for connections? Okay, well, I'm glad I already have something for that I was working on over here in Photoshop. Over here, I have a couple of connections that I was working on. 80s action TV show heroes who fought in Vietnam, continues to survive and thrive based on sheer inventiveness and improvisation. Able to build almost anything to achieve a goal. Both made ultralight aircraft from spare materials, escaped capture by using bed springs, and crafted a flamethrower from old junk, which is really, really cool. Brought down villainous cults, drug cartels, Nazis, Cold War communists, and assassins. They are very similar. In a weird way, this is also a very legacy matchup because MacGyver and the A-Team has been a very long debate from whatever I can find. Even the Mythbusters have been asked at one point, point blank, which is better, MacGyver or the A-Team. And both Jamie and Adam agreed MacGyver, which is interesting because Jamie and Adam almost never agree on stuff. Like, historically, they're not necessarily friends, but they work well together. That's not necessarily a secret or anything. That's just them talking about themselves. I'm a big fan. With calculating the shed scene, thoughts? I want to hear this. My idea was to see how much nitroglycerin we can see in one of the boxes, and then using that to multiply by how many boxes there are, and then that would give me a yield, I guess, of how much nitroglycerin, because nitroglycerin, I think, calculates over to TNT pretty efficiently, because it was nitroglycerin that was made from TNT. That went to the message before. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, which is why I need to, gotcha. Okay, thank you. That is one of the things I really need to add, is the calculation of the shed scene. I talked about it here with you guys, but there's nothing about it in the actual presentation itself. And that is one thing that I need to work on. I also noticed that the flow wasn't as great in one part, where, like, this is the one. I go from invention, right, cool, all the stuff that happened in the first episode, that was really great, and then I went right into villain. And I feel like I might be able... I want to keep Murdoch in the slideshow, because Murdoch, the MacGyver villain, and Murdoch, the pilot of the A-Team, is one of the main, like, setups for conflict that I'm trying to build. There is an artist that I commissioned to make a little animation, and this is one of the things I told him about. I was like, so, Murdoch, pilot of the A-Team. Also Murdoch, villain of MacGyver. Also Murdoch, villain of MacGyver, master of disguise. Hannibal, leader of the A-Team, master of disguise. I can see, like, this being like a very, very huge butting of heads moment of just like MacGyver's being like, oh, these guys are working with Murdoch, I'm gonna bring them in, I'm going to arrest them. Hannibal and the rest of the A-Team are probably thinking, oh no, this guy's after us, he's probably working for the government, which is true because MacGyver does. MacGyver works for a kind of like secret government organization, and that's really cool. how I'm going to work that into the slideshow, I have no idea. Never mind, I think I just figured it out. Let's try doing that. So in copy of copy, I really like my setup here. I like how I did all of this. This slide right here I think is hilarious. There's some really funny stuff here. You got Knight Rider, Magna PI, and Miami Vice, which is great because those are all 80s TV shows. You've got the movie Rambo over here, and Yujiro Hanma, which is very funny. There is a reason why all of these are right here. And can anybody tell me why all of these are right here? I'll wait. Would you like to tell me what they all have in common? What do they all have in common? Tell me. I know what they have in common, but now I'm asking you. Oh well, anyway. What they have in common is that every single character on screen right now, they are buff. I guess that's kind of true. What they all have in common, all of these characters you are currently looking at on screen, all of them fought in Vietnam, and all of them are 80s, quote unquote, not necessarily heroes in the case of Yujiro, but heroes in like character. Baki was originally published in the 80s, which makes Yujiro Hanma an 80s character who fought in Vietnam. That is what every character on screen currently has in common, except for this guy in the bottom corner talking, because I wasn't even born yet, and I do not want to talk about international politics in terms of Vietnam, because I feel like that's a way I will get in trouble. I probably won't be, but I feel like that way. I'm not sure how true this. Okay, this I like everything I have here. I like that. But right about here is where I think I start making a mistake, because I go right into like the breakdown of who MacGyver is, and then I do a breakdown of like who the A-Team is. But what I noticed is, so I'm only going to get like 15 minutes for this. Am I spending too much time breaking down each of the characters into am I spending too much time breaking down both shows into digestible pieces, or should I spend more time talking about the connections, why this would be an awesome episode, etc.? I know it's supposed to be a pitch meeting, so I'm kind of in this weird gray area of like wanting to talk about the shows and then wanting to talk about the actual connections. So let's try making... It's still a rough draft right now, and I already have this other copy, so that's good. We're going to leave the copy alone. Copy of a copy, however, copy of copy, just making sure I'm using the right one. Let's try getting... Okay, it's going to hurt me, but let's try getting rid of all of the slides after this point, and let's just focus kind of like... what was his name? Emilio the Burrito. Let's try pulling in Emilio and focusing more on actual connections and leaving information for the Death Battle crew, so that way, if they ever needed to, they could come back to the slideshow and have notes and everything for later. Because I noticed that's a thing that they're telling people about. It's like, hey, make sure to share the slideshow with us so we can use that for research. I'm like, okay, that... Oh, actually, I want that one. And the April Fool's Day one, because I think that's really funny. Okay. That's fine. That's whatever. From here, let's just make a bunch of new slides, right? Okay. first thing he talked about was connections. So let's try that. What connections do we know about MacGyver and the A-Team, and what would make a really good background for that slide? Hmm. I want the pattern. A pattern. If anybody's a fan of Brandon Sanderson, you'll get that joke. Pattern. No mating. I'm gonna shut up. Will that look good? Can I make that look good? Or should I go more for this? Right? Let's try duplicating this one, right? Alright, duplicate the slide. Put this back here. And let's try using that, right? Yeah, I like that more. Use the... Yeah, we're using... Yeah, that's kind of cool, because then it goes trailer, and then we're going to connections. I think that's kind of cool. Bum biddy 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 bum bum. Bum biddy 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 bum. Bum biddy 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 bum bum. Bum biddy 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 bum. I wonder if that guy ever wiped his ass with the wrong hand. Yes. Bum biddy 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 bum bum. Bum biddy 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 bum. Bum biddy 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 bum bum. Bum biddy 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 bum. Thank you for that. I'm sorry. I forgot to do the one thing. I have not seen the movie, but I want to do this on a green screen because I know how much people like that kind of stuff. So hold on. Ready? It's just not fair. And let's see what people do with that. It's just not fair. Oh, bitty 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 bum bum. God, I love that meme. Okay, let's talk about Get Connected. Boogie woogie woogie. Right? Isn't that the lyrics? Get connected. Boogie boogie boogie. Get connected. Boogie boogie boogie. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Right? Isn't that like isn't that a song? Oh, it's electric. Is that? Oh, it's electric. Boogie boogie boogie. That's what I'm thinking of. It's electric. Boogie boogie boogie. I was wrong. Get connected. Boogie boogie boogie. I guess that works. You know, electrical connections. Get connected. I'm gonna shut up. Well, first off, I want this to be darker, so I can actually read it. And then let's go for... Maybe actually not. Maybe, what if I make it white? That's much better. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. An Arial. Impact. Sure, I like Impact. I just clipped It's Just Not Fair. Yay! Yay, I got clipped. Yay! Whoa! Interesting. All right. Connections. What do I have for connections? Right. Well, let's do a bullet point list, huh? Oop, that's not what I wanted. Hmm. Okay, that's weird. Okay. How do I do bullet point? There we go. There's a bullet point. Okay. When did MacGyver start airing? 85. 83. 'Let's make this white. Ingenuity. Ingenuity. Creativity. Creativity. Interesting. Should watch MacGyver and the A-Team? Yes, you should. It's really, really good. Oh man, it's good. Watching both shows lately in preparation for this. It's all good. Premises built on ingenuity and creativity. Mac. Works for secret government agency. A team on the run from government after escaping prison. Prizalba. Prizb. Prizb. Anyway. Legacy matchup. Long standing debate. What else do I have here in my Photoshop? 80s action TV show heroes. Vietnam War veterans. I feel like I already kind of covered that, but you know. Playing Warhammer Vermintide 2 right now. Have you played or heard of it? I don't know a lot about Warhammer. I'm kind of getting into it because I've been learning how to paint a lot of stuff, and Warhammer tutorials are fantastic for that. Been doing a lot of like D&D, 3D printing, miniatures, that kind of stuff. That's why I have this like little Yeti dude, which I think is really cool. This is the big one. And then so I've never heard of I've never heard of Vermintide 2, but it does sound fun. Menno Man says, if I donated $500, would you be my best friend? You know what? I've already got a best friend. You should be friends with people who aren't your friend because of money. You should be friends with people who are your friend because they want to be around you. There's a lot of truth in that. As much as I would appreciate $500, I mean, it is good money. However, that is not how you should make friends. That is what that should be. Is that good advice? I don't know. Don't listen to me. Okay, they both built a lot of the same. Rejected? No. No. You weren't rejected. You were given advice. Exactly. Look at me. Look at me, Hector. I am the captain now. What could I say here? That'd be like really funny. Racial slurs. Let's see that get clipped. Okay, this is just a dumb joke I want to try. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. There we go. Alright, that's enough. Clipped, I knew it. I knew it. It would be really funny. I can just see people using that as a meme of just like hear like a smoke alarm beep in the background, just like beep. Racial slurs. I'm not racist. I just think the jokes are funny. There's a difference between being actually racist and finding jokes funny. Jokes are funny. It's whatever. I have worked with some people that I think are actually genuinely racist, and we very quickly fired those people. There was a customer I did some work for, and he actually was like extremely racist, and we actually stopped doing work for him. We're just like, okay, we're done. Okay, bye. You know, it's just oh, why am I on the wrong screen? Yeah, but we were just like, we'll pass. Okay, but connections. Build. I feel like that's a lot of like premises built in ingenuity and creativity. I think I can add right here. More. What do I got in Photoshop? Yeah, both have fought very similar villains. That's yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, what can I work with here? Okay, there's some good connections. I like that. Let's make, yeah, just do a little bit of spacing here just to make it look a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And then let's just scale everything down. There we go. That looks pretty clean. And then to that, you know what? Let's add. See, that's kind of cool because then the entire thing kind of looks like a blueprint. See if I can rotate this. That looks kind of cool. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? Is that better? I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my guy works for the Phoenix Foundation, which is really cool to see here. Okay. What if I try doing like something here with this, right? So I've got this like set up here. Right, so we go boom, and then I'll be like problem solved. Wait, problem solved. So let's find another cool background. Here. I need something creative. What else is creative? Blueprints, schematics. You know? Yeah! Something like that. That's kind of cool. Oh, that right there. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Mm-hmm. 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 Let's try something else, actually. Let's duplicate this slide, because I want to save that stuff for later. But off of this, right? Boom, boom. Okay. Let's get rid of these two, right? Get rid of this title. Get rid of this one. It's whatever. Layout. What do we do for layout? Title in 2 columns? Why not? Let's try something with that. What do I get out of that? So he went for connections. Got some of those. That's great. That's great. Got connections. Oh, what I get out of the matchup. Okay. Okay. What do I get out of the matchup? Well... Phone died. I'm back. Hello. You missed not a lot of comedy. You know what am I doing? Why I want this matchup. Okay. Let's try something here. So instead of this one, let's use that one. Yeah, sure. Why not? What do I use here? Let's go for impact again. How do I make that transparent? Okay. Opacity, but you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? Okay, why do I specifically want MacGyver versus the A-Team? Okay, and for that, I want... There's a couple that I've seen of different thumbnails. Let's get rid of that. Hey, that one's me. That's great. That's the other one I saw. These have been around forever. I'm gonna do something cool here where I'm gonna talk about these. There's another one that I saw. Kyber and Senku. That's jeez. What? That's not MacGyver though. MacGyver versus the A-Team. Hey, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's great. That's great. Hey, that's mine. Hey, that's me. I didn't. Whoa, wait. Somebody's doing Mothman. That's cool. Hey, that's cool. I talked about this one. I'm curious if anybody say anything. You'll have to take it up with the pit. It bothers me more than it should, but one guy versus an entire team seats the fair. Live screenshots from the show for your comic book panel thumbs there. LP is you'll have to take it up with a picture. MacGyver has a lot of skills that would help defend himself against the AT, especially since there's still him. Yeah. MacGyver versus the AT. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, wait, hold on. Vecna versus Doom, which is really cool. I hate Sonic versus Godzilla, by the way. I don't like that one at all. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, interesting. It's cool. It's cool to be lumped in with some of these. That's pretty neat. Which is very fun because there are comics of both, but whatever. What else have I seen for MacGyver? There's one more. That's the one I'm looking for. This is the one I'm looking for. Burn Notice. this. Okay, so put it simply, okay, why do I want this specific matchup? Well, to put it simply, I'm a massive fan of MacGyver. What can I use as a cool artwork thing for MacGyver? Okay, now if I do the A team, I got a couple. Nothing that really stands out. Sorry guys, the editing is boring. Oh my god, I forgot to throw on the music I was telling you guys about. Let's do that. What was the artist's name? Elysia. Thank you, Elysia. Let's just do playlist. Warbreaker, Arcane, Kingkiller, Mistborn, Stormlight Archive. Let's go for the Stormlight Archive. There we go. Ooh, Kaladin. Cool. Kaladin's great. Okay, while that's playing in the background, guys, please let me know if that's too loud and I will switch up some settings. Alright, I'm going to bed. It's like midnight. Good seeing you. Good seeing you too, man. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna keep talking to myself. I'm cold. One second, I gotta read a text that I got. Turn that down just a little bit. There we go. So I can focus more on. Is that better? I think that's better. So I got an important text, kinda. I'll tell you guys about it maybe one day. Who knows? In other news, we're getting back on this. So if I do this as a slideshow, right, it's all just going to come up at once. But instead, if I do animate, right, I can click on all of these and animation, right, they'll appear with the previous, which is great. Delete that, appear on click with previous. But I don't want them to appear. I want them to fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in. So these should all do this. Right, so it goes just like that. Goes just like that. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. So if I stop, if I do another quick slideshow real quick, boom, we're good. We're good. We're good. Nope. Okay, we're good. Great. Great. Okay, and that fades in. Okay, then I want this to fade out. Not that. Then I want all four of these to fade out while at the same time new ones fade in for the A team. So let's do that. Well, there's two different ways I could do this. Let's do it this way. Let's duplicate this slide, right? And then, because that'll already be the fade out and fade into the next one. And then if I do this, this, take this, copy this, here, Mm-hmm. 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 That is it that I have found for A-team matchups. That is it. Mm-hmm. What if I try B.A. Baracus? Chef Ruffs. Yeah, there are not that many good matchups for the A team, which sucks because it's so cool. Okay, that one's actually kind of cool. Hello. I can add Drop Shadow. That looks really good. Are any of these 80s TV shows? Let's take a look. No, 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 no. Maybe? No, 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 no. Specifically live action is what I'm looking for. 80s live action TV shows. No. 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 That is a cartoon. Also a cartoon. Cartoon. Movie. 90s. Yeah, I don't think they've ever had an actual 80s TV show. Not one. Wait, Mickey Mouse. What? Oh, that's... Oh, okay. Any 80s action TV shows? No. We need Walker, Texas Ranger. Also 90s. Wow. Wow, they haven't had a single 80s live action show. That's interesting. Okay, that is something. It's just interesting stuff. But yeah, there's never been Okay. Let's see if anybody's still in the chat. No. Sorry, I was quiet for so long. I was hyper focusing. I'm gonna hop back into hyper focus now. Oop. This sounds way too much like the Avengers theme. That's interesting. Okay, next up I'd have to do a bunch of feats calculations. Really don't want to do that right now. I think I'm going to go to bed. But I made some really good progress so far. I kind of like this a lot. Next I want to do is I kind of want to combine this one and this one so I still get my cool breakdown of both teams. I think this will be something really cool. I've got some statistics here and some feats. That's good. I still need to do a lot of statistics for MacGyver. I could probably get some of that from Mythbusters. But for now, I think that is where I'm going to call it. Okay. Bye-bye.